Welcome, everyone. Tonight, we have a very good topic again. We are going to dive deep into a topic of honesty in relationships, particularly focusing on the experiences of Black women. This is not a one-size-fits-all open discussion. Our goal is to foster a safe space for open dialogue where we can share, learn, and support each other. This is a non-judgmental zone, and as always, we encourage you to talk as much or as little as you would like. And just an housekeeping rule, if you're not speaking, please mute your phones, because we want to respect everyone that is talking, and we don't want anyone to miss anything that is being said. All right. Again, welcome everyone. I am Coach Glenda. I am here with my course manager, Rufus Carpenter, and I'm going to let him have the floor so he can officially introduce himself.
Good evening, everybody. Hey, how you doing, Dr. Johnson? How you doing, Andre? And how you doing, Ava? And iPhone 15. How's everybody today? Everybody's doing well?
Yes.
Awesome. Glad to have you in the house. Like Glenda said, this is Sunday night at 9 p.m. And we come on every Sunday night. And the framework is simple. The framework is 20 of your girlfriends are in your living room, and you guys are kicked back. You guys are enjoying the company of a company and the partnership of the sisterhood. And you relax. You got a glass of wine and you relax. You're really getting ready to let everybody know, because sometimes when you talk about relationship, just to hear yourself say some things, just to get it out in the open, just to hear yourself say it, it's therapeutic. When you listen to after you say it and it's gone, it's off of your back, it's off of your shoulders, and your girlfriends say, well, hey, look, I had that same issue you had. That makes all the difference in the world. So that's why we do this. That's why Glenda do this, why I do that, because we want to be a help. And this will always be a free forum, because we are here to help the community, and that's what it's all about. Now, the night's topic, when I saw the night's topic, honesty, please don't take it personal. I only looking for companionship. Honesty. Please don't take it personal. I'm only looking for companionship. When I saw that topic, I said, wow, it's a couple ways we can go here with this. There's a couple ways. And I think we're going to hit one or two of them tonight. So I'm not going to steal Glenda's thunder. I'm going to give it back to Glenda. Glenda?
Oh, you could have stole it.
Laugh along.
Okay. All right. So I just want to ask a couple of questions just to get us started. Now, what does honesty mean to you in a relationship? Now, I'm talking to the audience right now. I just want to know, what are your thoughts on honesty? What does it mean to you? Don't everyone speak at one time.
Well, let me help our audience out.
I appreciate it.
Because I'm part of the peanut gallery. So let me help it out. Honesty is easy for me.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me the truth. Tell me what's really in your heart and your head. Because I want to know, because when you tell me something, I'm taking it as gospel. When you tell me something today, I want to think next year that same thing apply. Now, when I hear it differently, you're going to say, well, hey, I changed. I'm going to say, stop, red flag, time out. My brain going to shut down, because that's not the operating order you gave me. And I'm finding that especially in new relationships, a person will say what you want to hear. A person will say what they think is going to get them to that next level, to first base, or get them all the way around the track. And that's not conducive. That's not helpful, because you really don't know who you're with. There was and I'm sorry to start off this way, but I like to have fun. There was a Richard Pryor joke when Richard Pryor said he went to the club one night and met this fine lady, that she was fine. And he said they were happy to go home with the girl. And she said when they got in the house, the girl started pulling off and stuff, putting her thing on the dresser. She put her hair on the dresser. She put her eyelash on the dresser. She put everything on the dresser. when she got in the bed, he's on time out. I want the one. So, he didn't want the one that got in the bed with him. So that's honesty to me. I say it as a joke, but realistically, that's honesty to me. You're your word. If your word is your bond. If you tell me something, that's what I'm gonna hold you to. So, audience, let's talk about that. Have any of you had any experiences of that, or what do you call honesty? Who want to start us off so we can get this thing tonight? Because tonight is going to be a good one, and it's better if you participate. Now, once again, our format is and framework is you can get in as much or as little as you want to. You don't have to speak, but when you do speak, you make a difference. Okay.
Now, Andre did put in the chat, sharing the truth as much as someone else can handle it.
Ooh, Andre, you got to talk about that because if you don't know much about them, how you know what they can handle and can't handle?
Well, like, let's just say, for example, you start off the relationship and you tell somebody you got 12 children. They may not can handle that up front. So you may have to just say, I got some children.
No, you better tell them you got 12. You tell them you got children, you come up and say 12. Now, I can't handle it, didn't either. You better tell me that one needs to be honest.
But can you handle that at the moment?
I'm not gonna handle it later on. That's gonna be hard to handle next year.
But I think if she's been with you for a year, she might say, well, I wasted a year, so I gotta stick it out. But after that first day, she said, no, I ain't gonna invest too much time in that.
Andre, if she been with you a year and she don't find out this year you got 12 kids, don't worry about it. Click. You ever heard how people say I'm gonna block you? How you gonna handle that?
I just think that from what I see with women, when I ask them, well, why did they stick it out with the guy? They say, well, we had been together for 6 months. And I'm like, oh, so if he had told you that up front, you probably wouldn't have done it.
I'm glad you brought that on, Andre, because I'm finding a little different. I'm finding out just a little different. Women that I talk to and know is that when you tell them 6 months, you tell them that, they don't look at their investment already and say, well, I've got 6 months invested, so I might as well go ahead. What they tell me is, I wasted my time. They tell me I wasted my time.
I can see that. But I don't know. If a person can't handle the truth, then I don't know if you're ready. Like, I just think that you should just tell people you may not be ready for the truth right
now. Let's open it up to the floor because let's open the floor. Dr. Johnson, you look like you chomping at the bits. What you want to share?
You have to be honest up front to get it out. Because what's the difference of you telling it now or waiting later? Waiting later can make it worse. You know, if you be honest up front, you have a chance to to get it out in the open. You're not holding nothing back. You're not conniving around something. You know, and Andre, someone with 12 kids, no. I mean, how can you hide 12 kids and you done been with somebody 6 months or a year?
Oh, you'll be surprised. They do it. They definitely do it out here.
Yeah, because Andre, right, they have half of them over Pookie's house. They have other over house. They got the other half staying with grandma. I'm telling you, you just don't know. You just don't know how this thing works. And and here's what I find, and we're gonna an audience, I want everybody to get in and get a part of this. Here's what I find. Ladies will tell me, Rufus, look, you should have told me this so I could have went in with my eyes wide open.
Correct.
You made the choice for me by taking for granted that I was gonna go on with this relationship. And and then I look at them like I'm crazy. They look at me like they crazy, and then we just sit there and everybody quiet. So
you proved my point. As a guy, we're gonna share as much as we think they could handle.
Right.
as a guy, I think we're gonna share as much as we think we can get away with.
True. That is true.
See, Doc, no.
Go ahead, Andre. Go ahead. I mean, it's open, Andre. I'm just speaking my truth.
No, I'm just kind of laughing because the reality, while I would love to say that everyone is honest, and I would love to say that everybody can handle honesty, I just don't know if everybody handles honesty and if everybody's honest. Because I look at a lot of relationships that where people I've seen that's been together for 10 and 20 years, and I'm not jealous of the relationship because I'm like, they were never honest at all, but they were there.
Mm-hmm. I guess I've been kind of I've been divorced for like what 20 some years now. And I was married almost all my adult life up to that point. So when I got divorced, I felt like, man, I felt like I was loose, man. I felt like, hey, freedom. I'm Martin Luther King. Freedom, freedom at last. So I was trying to do everything I was big and bad enough to do. So I was out there, hey, I was trying to relive that childhood that I didn't get at 18 and 19 and 20, 21, 22. So a lot of my conversation with women were, hey, look, I'm here. Hey, it's cool. I'm cool. We can do this. When a lot of times I didn't say everything that was on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't lie, but I just didn't say it all. And after when we got to that point where they said, well, you didn't tell me this. In my mind, I ain't think I had to tell you this, but in their mind was, you lied because you didn't tell me this. You wasn't honest. It's the first thing you said, you wasn't honest.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing was, I didn't tell you, I didn't lie. But the deal is, I wasn't honest. In their mind, my deed, the way I did, the way I carried myself, the way I conducted myself, I wasn't honest. I didn't give them a chance to make the decision with full disclosure. And that's that word transparent. I wasn't transparent, I guess. I thought I was transparent. I thought the smiles and the he was all in the right spots. But they didn't see it that way. Any ladies want to comment on that? Anybody encounter anything like that?
Well, I can comment on what you said, the last thing you said. I think more or less, it wasn't that you lied, it was more or less that you withheld the whole truth. You felt as if, like you said, I didn't feel like I had to say anything. So you just more or less just withheld the whole truth. You wasn't forthcoming with all of your feelings and all of the information.
Was that honesty? Was that being honest?
Well, I think it's a little deceiving because if you didn't, I mean, when you have another person is involved, what if they was looking for something more, or if they was expecting a different outcome between you and them? If you would have told them everything up front and not withhold any information, maybe that person could have made a better executive decision for herself in the future.
Do women hold back or women tell everything? Do women, because women always say men hold back and don't tell everything. Do women hold back at all?
I think women do. I think women do. I know I do.
What are some of the things women hold back?
I didn't go into my current relationship telling him my current boyfriend all the bad stuff that happened to me in my marriage. Like, I didn't tell him about the sexual abuse and how he, physically abused me right out the gate. We were friends for 5 years and I still didn't tell him, but it took me a while to tell him. Because I needed him to make an executive decision. Is this girl working with a full deck of cards? Does she have all her marbles? I didn't want to be judged based off of what I had went through. Or how people say, oh, that's damaged goods. I was damaged, but I had overcame that. And I felt as if I wasn't making someone else pay for someone else's mistakes.
Ooh, that's a good one. Angela lit up. Did you want to say something, Angela? Because I saw your thing light up.
Well, no, I'm trying to. I'm like Glenda. I feel like I want to know out of the gate so that I can make an executive decision. If I'm just meeting you or whatever, I want to decide whether I think this is worth going forward, because everybody just don't want a companionship without honesty right up front. I think then you got to go back later if it does turn into something. I feel that you can't really trust that person. I mean, so it's like that was a flag.
So I guess you're saying if a person not honest out the gate, in your mindset, there's a red flag on the relationship, or at least on that person right out the gate.
Yeah, because I just believe I want to treat the person like I want to be treated.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And like you say, you were just free now, so you want to do everything you thought you were big and bad enough to do, or that you think you missed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But really, at the end of the day, you just don't know it yet. You're going to find out you ain't really missed much.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Really?
No, that was the truth. That was
good one.
When you go back, really, what really did you miss?
A lot of sleepless nights.
I think you're missing it, Mr. Carpenter. I think you're missing it. Dr. Johnson, like you said, I have a lot of work left to do with him.
I mean, hey, I'm keeping it real. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's hard for me to contain because when here's
right, you can't make wrong right. You can waste time and do all of that, but really, when you sit back as Solomon said, all of that mess, what in the world did it profit me? Nothing.
Absolutely.
Nothing.
Yeah, but here's when I got divorced and I began to look at the world differently. I was confused coming out the gate, and here's my confusion. And help me, please, somebody guide me. I'm better nowadays because of forums like Sunday Night at 9 and other forums I've learned. So I've learned a little bit. So, but when I first came out the gate, I was confused. I didn't understand dating and mating. And because I thought dating was something else, and other people thought dating was mating. So help me out. What's the difference between dating and mating? Everybody looking confused. What's up? I'm not the only confused person on this line, huh?
Well, I haven't heard it put.
Well, I mean, you just wanted to come out and play the field. You just wanted to go from Susie to Sally to Cindy.
Wait. Start over. So Angela, start over because I want to get this. Go ahead. Can you start now, Angela? Go ahead.
You say you were confused. Not really. I guess maybe you felt that you were free to be with Cindy and Sally and Sue, and so you were just rolling with it. But at the end of all of it, what did it profit you?
Yeah, but you still ain't helped me with the dating and the mating. You gave me the numbers, but you didn't give me the quality of relationships.
Right. So you just, I don't know. I don't know what you want to call it. You were just out there.
Okay. I was just out there. Then anybody else want to comment on that? Because I want to hear that. We need clarification on that.
Good evening. I can't find the reactions. I was trying to be courteous and raise my hand, but I must be missing something here.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Dating and mating. Okay, so when we're dating, we are collecting data, making decisions on, who the person is, if they would be a good companion, spending time together, getting to know each other. So it's really a time of collecting information to see if you want to move forward in a committed relationship, which is why it's possible to date more than one person, because you're not necessarily committing you're collecting. Mating, with the root word being mate, I would say that it would be where you have chosen a person who you want to be committed to. So I believe, just from your question, that mating then would be a moving forward into a commitment and a relationship, rather that is, we're exclusive, rather, we're getting engaged, we're getting married. So those would be, the definitions that I would give dating and mating, at least in the context of what you, the way that you answered the question.
Yes, very good. I agree.
I agree. That's I appreciate you for that, and that's everybody. That's Ramon. That's Ramon. Ramona. What's your whole name, Ramona, so everybody can know your name?
Ramona Robertson Gregory. Ramona is fine, and some people call me Mona.
And matter of fact, you wrote a book. Tell us about. Can you tell us a little bit about your book? And this is, I'm not trying to plug her book. I'm just trying to let you guys know where her answer came from. She's heavy into this type of stuff. What's that book? The last book you wrote?
Okay, so the book I wrote is entitled "Do Not Panic. This is only a test." And the book actually was related to us walking through the COVID-19 pandemic, and basically letting us know that though we were all woe is me and all of these terrible things have happened, that we aren't the first, set of people in civilization that went through those types of, tragedies. And the whole key of the book was that if we don't learn from what we went through, we won't be prepared if we go through something like that again. So it was like, don't panic. It's only a test. And if we get a redo, we already have the answers.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm
Very
getting a
good.
redo. So I'm getting a redo at this. So I got to answer between mating and dating. Mating and dating. I got a redo. So I can come out of this. And the reason why I asked her to tell who she was, because believe it or not, your audience, you guys are some powerful people. You doctors, your ministers, your pastors, your layperson. You guys are tremendous. At the collection, we got educators on the line, upper level educators. You guys are really tremendous people. Got human relation workers on this line. So it's the wealth of knowledge. So when you have a question you want to really get the root to, man, it's in this container. This container, Sunday night at 9, we have some powerful people, and we appreciate you. Without you, we wouldn't have a show. I'm telling you guys bring life to this podcast, and I appreciate you for doing that. Okay, let's keep on moving, Glenda. I think you guys and gave me that date and the mating. I think we got it straight now.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. All right, moving right along. All right. Companionship versus loneliness. Exploring the need for companionship and how it differs from being in a relationship that no longer serves you. Now I'm gonna give you an illustration for this little segment. Imagine being in a relationship where you feel lonely despite having a partner. How does honesty help in addressing this issue?
Now I'm gonna tell everybody, all of us know a lot about this one. Now it shouldn't be nobody on this line that can't talk about this one. This happened more than you can realize. This is probably one of the number one things in our community. Because especially if you're not equally yoked, or especially you and that person are at different stages in that same relationship, this is something that we really need to discuss in detail. Who wants to start it off? Because I don't want to be the one to start this off, because I'll be here all night. So who wants to start this off? Because this part right here, you're in a relationship, committed relationship, whether it's a long-term relationship, whether it's a marriage, and you and your boo shut the door at night. What that look like to you, not to the public, because the public ain't behind them doors. You are. Anybody want to share? And you don't have to talk about yourself, but talk about what you think is happening. What are some of the things you notice?
When there's no communication, or it's almost like the emptiness, for an example, of what are we going to do now that our common interests are no longer the children because they are adults. So you can be in a relationship and after the doors are shut or whatever, there's no communication. It's almost like you outgrew one another.
Yes, that's one thing. And she said,
and that brings loneliness. It's like, well, why are we here? We're not, we grew apart or something.
And a lot of people call that empty nest, when your children are gone and all of a sudden one of the spouses or one of the person in the relationship has really invested in the children, and the other one probably was investing in career. So one was home or working, taking care of the children, while the other one was working, trying to make sure the income in the house flow regularly so everybody can be taken care of. Once the kids go, they out doing their thing and just leave you and your significant other together. And now you don't have anything in interest, nothing to talk about. He or she's on the sofa, the other one's upstairs asleep, or vice versa, or out at the bar, whatever. And you're lonely in that relationship. You got a mate, and you guys are so committed to each other, and still probably love each other, but you don't have anything in common anymore. You don't communicate. You don't talk. So this is when. Go ahead, Angela. I see your light came back on again.
I don't know why. But anyway, and that's why it's important to have date night and different things during the course of raising your children, or one working to provide. But you got to make time for each other the whole time, so that when you do get to that bump in the road, you can navigate that as well.
Yep.
That's why you can't just put that off.
Yep, you're right. Never stop dating. Never stop dating each other, because
Always
that
make
love
time.
between you two needs to be there. And I can tell you a little bit about my story. I tell you that, hey, I've been there where I've focused on work a lot because I knew the career that I was trying to build, and my mind was that I was preparing for my family's future. But the other person felt like, wow, you ain't spending no time with me. If you don't spend time with me, there ain't gonna be no future.
Which that's true. And then to continue on that path, it's like you expect things to be different in another relationship. It's not.
Here's a lot of times a man, when he go out and work for the family, he think that's love. He think that's the best way he can show his love, as that responsibility piece. He going out there handling his responsibility, fighting the man every day to make sure his family is straight and he has everything. They have everything they need. So he feels that's his love. That's his love language. That's how he shows his love language.
Okay, well, he needs some counseling, because it's more than just that.
Okay.
Okay? It's more than just that. This is the 21st century.
Right.
And that's where we are. And that's why you get to the end of it. And then it's like, here now you're up in age, the two of you, and you out there again, starting over. No. So you pause now and get what you need right now for today. Because it's not just about working and making the money. Yes, you love her, or he loves you, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes more than that.
It does.
And it's time for our men to realize that, and women as well. That's just like a lot of time it takes too, financially, to run a household, so that there's money set aside so that you can have nice vacations and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what time we're in. It's a part of self-care, and even in the relationship.
Talked about it enough. Somebody else talk about this subject. We want to hear a fourth side of this. Who else want to share in this? Because you've kind of got me and Glenda's and Angela's point of view. Someone else talk about this thing. Let's hear from somebody we haven't heard from tonight. Who wants to get out there And Andre got anything in the chat? Andre normally has something good in the chat. Anything good in the chat, Glenda?
No, he hasn't said anything. Let's see. Let me see.
Repeat the question.
Yeah, he did. He said, repeat the question.
And the
All right,
question,
Andre.
okay, you want to repeat the question? Angela, you want me to repeat the question?
Oh no, you go on.
Okay, the question was that you were in a relationship and a husband and wife or long-term girlfriend and boyfriend, and the husband or the boyfriend goes out and work because his love language is that he feels if he go out and work hard and keep enough money in the house and all the bills are paid and the house, you can do some extra things. You can have some of the things you want versus all the things you need. So he's gonna go out there and work like a Hebrew slave to make sure that happens. And to do that, it takes him, he spends a lot of time away from the house. And the wife or the other significant other say, hey, look, if you don't spend the time here, it ain't gonna be no future. So that's where we kind of part ways a little bit there, Andre. And we were talking about it, and Angela said to say, hey, that dude needs some counseling. Angela said,
Well, if I'm hearing the question right, though, I think if the guy's doing that, he nowadays might be considered a good guy because you ain't gonna find many brothers from going to work, period. It's not many brothers that are selfless like that. Most brothers are gonna be like trying to spend it on them, spend your money and their money. So in my mind, I'm like really wondering, like, do women really set up these high expectations from men by saying that, you know, you got to be able to work and balance, but knowing they do enjoy getting their hair done, getting their nails done, taking care, sending the children soccer practice and all this stuff. Well, somebody got to pay for that.
yeah.
Well, that's why you have two working together. It's not just, it shouldn't be one-sided, even when it comes to finances.
Exactly.
You're going to do it together because you got to invest in your relationship.
Or you won't
It's
have
not just working and making the money and paying all the bills. You got to, give
Yeah,
her
but I think
time.
in order for that to honestly happen, though, like for me, if I was to sit there and try to date, I think we would have to, like, you can't live in Buckhead and expect me to be home sometimes. Like if we live in Bankhead, I can come home and invest.
Okay. And Buckhead is an expensive place in the Atlanta area that costs a lot of money. So you just don't go there any kind of way. Your pocketbook and your wallet gotta be right when you go there.
Now I don't even visit Buckhead. I
Yeah.
only drive by.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. So he's saying that to make that and keep that right, somebody got to go out and make it happen. And I think Angela's trying to say that both of you make it happen. And if both of you have that same commitment, same dream, and working together, I think it could happen that way. But
I can't expect the girl to pay 50%. I know people say that, but you saw how they got on to the Dwayne Wade when he said Gabrielle Union paid 50%. Everybody acted like that was like the devil.
I guess I thought I was old fashioned, but I guess I'm not. I thought in this day and time, I thought it took two anyway to balance things out, because majority of what I've seen of two people in the household working together, it took two salaries to get to where you want to go. And my thought is, if we're together, we're lock horns together, and this is our thing, we both gonna put our shoulder to the plow and make this thing happen. So we both gonna pull it. And if that look like 50-50 or 60-40, based on this, we're all pulling the same time trying to do that. We're out trying to work it together. Now, if I'm working it and you spending it, you finding new and improved ways to spend what I'm making. And it's not, it's like, wait a minute here, hold on, we got
Right.
our goals need to be recalibrated or something.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm from the school is we working together, husband and wife, we're a team. Everybody say help make, however you want to say it. We're supposed to put that vision together and work it as a team. That's my thing. How did that happen? Is that realistic nowadays, though? Is that realistic?
It is. You just got to watch your selection process and make sure you're equally yoked.
I like to share.
Please
Go right
do.
ahead.
All right. So, I don't believe there's anything that has been discussed tonight that really can't be solved through those two people really sitting down, talking about it, making sure that their values and things are the same, especially if you're talking about a long-term, commitment, if you're feeling lonely or feel like your husband or wife working too much or, any of those things. So those things are solvable. And, there are things that two people could come together on. So everybody have their own standards. So for myself, growing up, my father, he had his own business and he took care of us. He was a general contractor. I've been previously married. My husband took care of all of the bills. Now I work because I have a gift of talent that God gave me to use. And I work because I wanted to, not because I had to. So the bar has already been set in my life. And what I'm not going to do is that I'm not going to be married to somebody and work like I did when I was single. What do I need you for? Now, that's just my personal standard. The standard has been set because, see, if I go to work, and they get on my nerve, what I want to say is my husband got me, here go your keys to the office and I'm going to the house, So I want to do it because I want to. It's a gift, that the Lord has given me to be able to help mankind and my feeling all of that. But I don't want to feel like if I don't, our lights are going to be turned off. So then, as Coach Glenda said, this is where the selection process comes in. If you can't take care of me, you may not be my mate, though we might could be friends or what have you. And then don't be going around telling that lie, saying you taking care of me when you're not. No, you're not taking care of me. You helping take care of me. Because if you say you're taking care of me, that's exactly what you're doing. And another thing I just want to say quickly, as it was said earlier by Mr. Rufus, about women maybe spending and things of that nature. See, a lot of times we get into relationships, we see people's habits, and because we love them, we look over them. These are things like you're not going to be with somebody 5 years and you see them. I'm just going to talk about the ladies, you know what I'm saying? Every week they got a new weave, they got the nails done, they buying Gucci instead of maybe investing in the colleges. I mean, like, we know these things. And you still made the choice to be with somebody who you already know gonna bankrupt the family. That's on you. Okay.
You know how to express yourself very well. Thank you. Thank you. Because that's some of the things I've noticed, because a lot of times when like she said, you see the signs, and whether that conversation, whether the beauty or whether the potential future makes you overlook that red flag, and you go on with it, then you got what you got, is what she's saying pretty much. And that's what it is. You already know that. I guess at this day and time, everybody has expectations. And that's why the subject tonight, honestly, please don't take it personal. I only want companionship. And I've heard women say that. I've heard women say, I've got my car, I got my own money, I got my own house, I got my own table. So don't come telling me you're gonna bring all these things to me. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for companionship.
Right.
As a matter of fact, that's how this topic came up tonight, as a matter of fact. So all I'm looking for is companionship. So when you go through that, when you look at it like that, that expectation is already there. You know how that relationship gonna roll. So, and that's one side of that's one side of the night's topic. When you and a person says, and when that person that said that says, I'm just lonely by myself. I can take care of myself. I just want companionship. Somebody to go to the movies, somebody to go on trips with, somebody, to go on cruises with, and all this kind of stuff. That's what that was. So when you look at it like that, You know, you make decisions now. And you got to realize this is what's called the modern relationships of the day. All those rules we used to have for relationships, a lot of those rules are thrown away. Today, when you and that person sit down and y'all carve out what your relationship gonna look like, that's when you make those decisions on what your relationship gonna look like, whether it's gonna be 50-50. Hey, look, I got you. You ain't gotta work. You just do you, I got you. You know, those decisions are made. And we talked about a couple of things about that homosexual relationship. You know, that relationship, talked about that manipulation. When some people say, hey, this all I need you to do. These are modern relationships. So when we think a lot of times it's supposed to be this way because that's where our parents had it or that's where it used to be, that's not true anymore. So that communication piece is super important. You've got to actually not only say what you want, you've got to demonstrate it, and you've got to be able to set your boundaries in place. So that's what it is. So you won't go beyond that.
Right.
So a lot of times the boundaries are for you as well as for the other person, because like what you call it said, Ramona said, you know, you saw the red flags, you just kept going.
Right.
And that's when you violated your own boundary. So you got what you got. So that's very, very important. And that's why we have these conversations. That's why we have these relationship talks on Sunday night. So we can get some of this stuff out, because these modern relationships, guys, if you're not looking at what's going on, you getting took. You getting took. Now, some of us are takers. Some of us would take more than we give, but a lot of us on this line are givers. You know, we'll give the person a shirt off our back.
Right. Until they burn us.
Yeah, until we stop them from burning us, because I'm sure I've been burnt a few times by the same person. What you smiling for, Glenda? I'm sure you had it too. I'm sure. So
I think I've retired from that.
Okay, all right. All right, but sometimes we get caught up. What said Andre? What Andre say? Honestly, I wonder if Black women have it harder in relationships than others. Yes, Andre, that's true. They do have it, and a lot of times Black women have it because society has labeled Black women a certain way, and it's not coincidental. It's there's a long history of how Black women have been manipulated in this country. And the night we only got about 10 or 15 minutes left, so we're not gonna cover that tonight. That's a subject. It'll take us 3-4 times to do that one. But Black women are stereotyped as being, let me see how I can say this. The attachment style of Black women are considered an avoidance attachment style, where they much rather be strong than vulnerable. A lot of Black women, and society is saying that a lot of Black women don't want to be vulnerable. They want to be standoffish, and they want to be strong. And a lot of Black women have to be strong because they head of households. A lot of Black women are single parent head of households where they have to bring in all the income. Some may get child support, some may not. But they have to figure it out. I've seen it. There are some ladies I'm very proud of that were single parents, a single parent household, and they raised their children and did an excellent job. You know, you talking about somebody can do something with nothing? Girl, them single ladies that are head of households have made miracles work, and God has shined on them and blessed them with some of the things I've seen them do. But Glenda, we're about 10 minutes before we're trying to wrap this up. What parts of this week?
Good evening. This is Annette. I would like to say something.
Go ahead.
I look at the relationship. I'm listening to what everybody's saying, but I look at the relationship as it's a 3-part situation. It's a me, it's a you, and it's a us. whether the us is children or whether the us is just you and me together. I think what we do is we get in these relationships and we lose ourselves. I think if we don't do that, if we go in the relationship and still stay ourselves and then deal with our joint things, I think that makes a difference. If we're empty nesting and we still had a you and a me and a us, that means we still got each other to think about. We don't feel empty. We don't feel useless. I think the whole time of our relationship, it should be a you, me, and us. And that's the way we should move around in our relationships in order for us to stay ourselves and stay loving and jointly for the union. That's what I think.
The Wayne Parker light is lit up. You want to say something, Wayne? Because his light is lit up. You see, Glenda?
No, I didn't see anything.
Okay, I see it. No, I see his light. His light lit up. So I wondered if he wanted to say anything. But he didn't. He's still muted. Or is he talking and muted?
No, he's not talking.
Okay, good. All right. What Andre say now? You, me, us would be a great t-shirt. Yeah, you're right. It would be. We might make that t-shirt, Andre. And this is a great topic, and there's so much about this topic that we want to cover. I think the communication part of this would come in. When you communicate, you want to communicate your true and honest feelings. Because a lot of times when you communicate, you try to filter your conversation to, like I think Andre said in the beginning, what they could really handle. So a lot of times you're more concerned about how they're gonna handle it versus what you got to say. So, and sometimes and Andre, I'm glad you said that there's two types of truth. There are two types of honesty. There's honesty and there's brutal honesty. Brutal honesty is when you blow them out the water. And that's not good. That's not good. Honesty is when you tell them what needs to be said. You don't go overboard. Example. And this may not be a good example, but it's example. Let's say you have let's say this wife and her husband, and her husband's feet or breath stink, one or the other. And she said she want to tell him, say, look, hey, look, yeah, it stinks. She want to say, hey, look, honey, either your breath, your feet, it stinks. You might want to try a different cologne, or not a cologne, a different mouthwash, or try a different foot powder. She can say it like that. And I hope the guy can understand it. If she come on and say, look, MF, that smell like SHID. If you don't do something with it quick, you out of here.
Oh, okay. That's your definition of brutal honesty. That was a little harsh.
Yeah.
He's gonna have attitude if he hear that.
Yeah. And you got, you have to understand how to say that thing, because sometimes a person don't understand how foul or how bad they're acting, or how bad that what they just did is towards the relationship, or towards you, or towards the group. A lot of times, I got my two little granddaughters with me this weekend, and we're having a great time. And I was trying to get them to go do something. We were going to go in a restaurant after we left the beach. And we were going to go to a restaurant, and we had on the bathing suit. My little granddaughter's like, I ain't going in there. She said, no, not in my bathing suit. She's we putting on some clothes. I'm trying to eat and get back right quick, because I know I got Sunday night at 9. And she's we ain't going in there. So we couldn't go through drive-through because we had went past the drive-through. We couldn't back up to go. So if we wanted to eat, we had to go inside.
Right.
So she wasn't doing it. And we had to actually change clothes in the car. So,
I guess she told you.
So honesty is how you look at it.
Right. But look, Mr. Carpenter, so going back to the bad breath and the stinky feet, if the person is not receptive to what the person is saying and they're not being brutal, with telling them about what, what they are, experiencing. What if they're not receptive? What if they like, yeah, whatever, and nothing changes? They don't receive what you're saying, like, oh, I apologize. I'm sorry, I'm glad you brought that to my attention. What if they be like, yeah, whatever?
That's when you get brutal honesty. That's when you look at him.
Wow. Okay. All right. So if plan A doesn't work, you go straight to plan B.
Yes, 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 yes. And some wives and some boyfriend girlfriends have been to the part where say, "Baby, let me wash your feet. Let me wash your feet. Come here. Let me come on, sit right here." And they
sometimes that could be like they can take it another way. Oh, she's being a little sweet. She's just want to get close to me. They might not take it as my feet stink and I need to change soap or foot powder, like you said. Now, what would you do in the case of the toothpaste and the mouthwash? I mean, she's not gonna brush his teeth.
I don't think she can be
you know
kissing him
what?
much neither.
Sometimes it's a medical issue and they need scale. So there's a way to talk to them and just say, well, let's look at this. We may need to look a little deeper because that does cause bad breath. It's scaling. And they can't even scale the whole mouth in one session. They have to break that thing up in quarters. And that's really a medical condition.
But they also got to be open to wanting to have that done. So they have to be receptive at the same time. So honestly,
but you got to do it in love.
Absolutely, you do. You do.
And you do it in love.
All right.
Because you want, in dignity. You still want the person to have their dignity.
Right.
Correct. That's
you wouldn't say that out in public. You would say it in the
privacy. But even at home, you just got to know how to treat each other behind the doors and how to talk with one another.
Right. Correct.
All right, Glenda, it's about that time to start reeling this in. Now, Glenda covered majority of the night subject when she covered the definition of honesty, and she talked about being truthful, transparent, and honesty. And she talked about the importance of honesty, how it builds trust and foster a stronger connection, emotional connection. We talked about brutal honesty and brutal honesty. We made the difference and distinction between the two. And companionship, sometimes you're just seeking closer connection. When you talk companionship, you're just seeking a connection with somebody. You just want to know that they're there. You want to feel them in a relationship. You want to feel them even when they're not with you, that you want to feel that you have someone that's a part of you and someone you can talk to, someone at night you can share your day with. Hey, look, honey, here's what my day was today. And I was glad I was able to call you when they told me this and you helped me out, or you said a little prayer for me. And that's very, very important. Now, what are the steps of the honesty? The steps are, first, you got to feel like you got to identify the need. You got to identify people's feelings. When you talk open and honest from the heart, you're actually talking about your needs and your feelings. And a lot of times, you got to choose the right time to talk. You just can't blast me when I'm at my worst and just kick me when I'm down. You got to say, look, baby, this evening when we get home, let's open a wine or kick back a couple beers and let's talk. However you do it, I don't know, and talk, have that talk. And when you're gonna tell a person something in a relationship, you want to say I. Honey, I have a problem with this. So, honey, I do this. You don't want to say, honey, you always F up, but you do this and that. When you put it on you, when you put it on them, when you say you, already driving a wedge. So you want to hey, honey, here's what I'm having a problem with. Or here's what I need a better understanding with. When you use that it makes it easier for the other person to be a part of that conversation. When you always say you're already having the person putting up defense because they feel like they got to defend themselves. But when you say they don't have to defend themselves. They can listen to you attentively and be an active listener, and you and them can work it out a lot faster. Here's what are some of the practical steps. The first thing is self-reflection. First, where are you at in that subject? Where are you at in that situation? What are you at? Open dialogue is the next. You got to have an open dialogue. And you want to seek support from your partner. Sometimes you might have to carry the weight, and sometimes your partner may have to carry the weight. But if you guys got a mutual understanding that you can work together, it's easy to get that support. And Annette said something at the end when she said there's a you, me, and a us. I think that she said I, you, however she said it. She was saying it's you, them, and the us together. And that's why you gotta self-prioritize. You gotta look out for yourself. You gotta prioritize yourself in a relationship. They're said that an empty cup, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Right.
That means that you have to have something in your cup to pour out to me. Because when what that nothing from nothing leaves nothing, was it Billy Preston had that song when they thought he was gonna be a Beatle? And he said nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So you gotta have something if you want to be with me. I think that's how that thing goes. So you got to have something. So you got to pour from a full cup, not an empty cup. So you got to look out for yourself. You got to do the self-care. All right, Glenda, take us home.
Well, I want to thank everyone again for showing up tonight. I know it was a huge sacrifice. And, just piggybacking on what Mr. Carpenter says, as well as tonight's topic, just continue to be open and honest. And thank you for joining us at Reset to Healthier Relationships, Sunday nights at 9. Y'all have a good night.
All right, good night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Oh,
Good night.
and also Glenda got some things coming up at the end of this month that you're going to really love. So please stay tuned. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good
Good
night.
night.